a weekly public affairs presentation of Salem Radio Houston, focusing on people and issues affecting our community. Now, here's your host, News and Public Affairs Director, J.P. Pritchard.
Texas apparently has the dubious honor of ranking 6th in the country for the most teens drinking and driving. That's according to statistics gathered by the Centers for Disease Control. This news is rightfully concerning to parents of teens, especially at this time of year when there are so many activities to draw teens out for extracurricular events and the parties that sometimes follow. Drinking and driving is a complex problem, whether it's adults or kids. But when it comes to young people, there are at least laws that are supposed to keep alcohol out of their hands. Sometimes, though, kids get phony IDs that get them past that barrier and into dangerous trouble. Enter a new corporate effort to thwart the use of phony identification cards. Talking to Bryan Lewis now with Intellicheck, and we've got some interesting stuff to talk about regarding drinking and driving, and in particular, kids who are underage and are drinking and driving and causing a lot of problems for themselves and a lot of other people. Bryan, thanks very much for being with us here on Impact Houston.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Okay, so tell me, give us some statistics, some numbers, if you will, on the problem, so we understand just how serious this deal is with regard to kids drinking and driving.
Sure. Texas has the dubious honor of ranking number 6 in the nation when it comes to the most teens drinking and driving. And I guess to put it in other terms, almost 27% of the kids, underage minors in Texas, admit to drinking. 7% of them admit to then getting behind the wheel of a car. And even more scary, 1 in 5 admit to getting into a car with another teen who's been drinking. So it's really a problem. It's going to hurt people.
And these are the kids who are actually being honest enough to tell everybody about this. Probably these numbers are higher, but there's a certain degree of shame attached, and probably should be, to this practice, no matter whether you're the drinker or whether you're just participating in somebody's driving exercise when they're not qualified to drive. A lot of these kids aren't very qualified to drive in the first place, much less drinking and driving. So,
correct.
These numbers, what, they come from the
CDC.
CDC,
yeah, they
okay.
did a survey, and it's the Centers for Disease Control, Prevention High School Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System. So, and I would agree with you. I think that kids will underestimate what they're actually doing.
All right. So, here we are talking to somebody from Intellicheck, which a lot of people might recognize from seeing a sign in a retailer's on the counter there as like an identity theft, check verification company, things like that. What does that have to do with drinking and driving?
Well, I think there's a couple of things we should point out. The Texas ABC just did a really great job on doing a sting on establishments that are selling alcohol to minors without even looking for an ID. One of the real problems is every kid knows how to go online and get a fake ID shipped to them from China that looks so real, law enforcement can't tell them apart. And these web companies know what they're doing, because you get 3 or 4 of your friends to also want these fake IDs, the price drops by over half. And the real problem is that the laws only require a visual inspection of a license for me to say, okay, that's good enough, and I'm going to sell alcohol to this person. Problem is, these fakes look that real. Technology is what you need to make sure they are, in fact, real. And that's what we provide to literally hundreds and hundreds of liquor stores, vaping stores, cannabis stores where that is allowed, and then over 65 law enforcement agencies. It's an app they can download to their phone, and it will tell them instantly if the license is real or not.
Now, wait a minute. You're telling me that I can write off to China and get an ID that says I'm only 21, despite my appearance of being retired?
Yes, you can. Yes. And all they require is, and they walk you through the steps on how to do it. There are multiple websites. Take a picture on a blue background from this distance. Send us a digital version of your signature, and then pay us through Western Union or Bitcoin. And in a few weeks, you'll get a package in the mail. We do this just to make sure we understand what the bad guys are up to. And they'll come shipped in, sewn inside teddy bears or in the lining of a cheap purse. you cut that open, and you're ready to go.
I had no idea. So how does your technology actually work? How do you, beyond what the average person can look at and see, looks pretty authentic to me, but your technology can see through that? Yes.
What we do is the criminals know how to mimic the plastic, right? And they know how to do the microprinting. They get one, Texas license, and they know where all this stuff's supposed to be. What they can't figure out, and what we do because we work with the motor vehicle administrators, is we know exactly what is supposed to be in the barcode. There's a standard for that, which the bad guys know, and a simple scanning device will say that this is real. We know exactly what's supposed to be in the barcode and where, and there are over 250 valid formats of barcodes. So it's really hard for the bad guys to figure that out. Since we know it, just the camera on the back of a smartphone, you can use that to scan that barcode, and we'll tell you within seconds if it's a fake. And we do that with greater than 99% accuracy. Our law enforcement officers obviously confiscate tons and tons of fake IDs. Before they use our product, they always test it out. And, for example, before New York State decided to outfit their liquor authority with it, they ran 1,000 fakes through the system. Not a single one got past us.
That's incredible. I had no idea that this could be done. What a great idea it is. I wonder, are there any states thinking about actually requiring retailers to use something like this? I mean, because there are some serious rules in place already.
I'm talking to legislators all over the country, and again, at the national level, because we've got the problem with vaping. That's really making kids sick and in some cases killing them, and everybody's looking to raise the age there from 18 to 21. But it's going to have the same effect as doing it with alcohol, which we did in 1980. Still, over 10% of all alcohol consumed in the United States is by kids under the age of 21. And until I think the legislation puts teeth in the law that says you must authenticate a license, they're going to continue to buy these fakes, and they're going to be able to continue to get alcohol.
Yeah, one store I go to and occasionally might buy something that has alcohol in it for medicinal purposes only, actually requires you to click off on the same little unit that you use for your debit card or your credit card. I am a certain age. I certify this. In other words, taking the monkey off of the back of the clerk and putting it on you. I lied about this if I didn't do it properly.
And one thing that I think parents and kids should be aware of, everybody thinks these are, the fake IDs are fun, they're just fake, I can get into a bar. But they do have consequences, especially in Texas. They range from anywhere from a Class C to a Class A misdemeanor with fines from $500 to $2,000 for using a fake ID to purchase alcohol. So it's not like it's something you can just laugh off. If you get caught using one of these, it could impact your life.
Yeah, and if you use one of these to get alcohol and then you drive and you kill somebody, you're going to know about that for the rest of your life, too.
100% for the rest of your life.
Well, scary business. It looks like this is a hopeful development, and I guess you can get these things just for a regular old smartphone, right? Can anybody get them?
Yeah, we make sure that we're selling it to, store owners, law enforcement, but it is as simple as, go to our website, say you're interested, we contact you, and then you can download it onto your smartphone and be stopping this crime, instantly.
So what kind of a cost are you talking about here?
It depends on how many units you buy, but we're not talking, we're talking less than $100 a month for a store to be doing this.
So it's like on a subscription basis.
You are correct.
All right, very, very
and
interesting.
We work with law enforcement to make sure that they have it. We understand state and local budgets, but we believe this is such an important enough topic that we work with law enforcement to make it work for them.
All right, so if somebody's listening to this and saying, boy, I could sure use that in my business, how do they get in touch with you?
Simplest way would be go to our website, intellicheck.com, and just click on I'm interested.
Simple enough. All right. Well, we appreciate your coming by to tell us about this very interesting thing, and look forward at some point in the future, from hearing back from you, to see how successful this has been, because I think it's a fascinating topic and a really good development in this effort to cut down on kids drinking and whatever else they do when they're intoxicated. There are other things that happen, too, that aren't good for the kids. So,
correct.
Bryan, thanks so much. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks so much, JP. Look forward to speaking to you again.
Bryan Lewis there with IntelliCheck.